He had loved 2 women, lost one to death, and nearly lost himself to the other. When a dying mentor's letter challenged him to give without reason, he gave 3 women in his life the same gift. His girlfriend raced to spend it. His director raced to leverage it. But his gardener, quiet, overlooked, invisible, did something so quietly devastating that a man who had stopped believing in love had no choice but to start again. Hello, beautiful family. Welcome back to True Life Stories, the channel where real moments remind us what truly matters. If you are watching us for the first time, this is your home now. Please subscribe right now and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Leave us a like, it costs you nothing, but it means absolutely everything to us. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Now settle in. This one is going to reach you somewhere deep. The studies smelled of cedar and old paper. Nathan Graves sat behind a desk that could have belonged to a judge, maybe a general, wide, dark, deliberate. Outside the tall windows, a garden spread across the rear of the estate in quiet, living color. Roses, lavender, climbing jasmine. His late wife Margaret had planted every inch of it herself. That had been 7 years ago. Before the diagnosis. Before the silence that followed. Nathan was 52 now. Measured, private, and by every visible measure, untouchable. His real estate firm had reshaped the skylines of 3 cities. His name appeared in boardrooms and blueprints, on plaques and profiles. He had the kind of wealth that made people lower their voices when he walked into a room. But tonight, he was reading a letter. It had arrived 3 days after the funeral of his mentor, Gerald Holt, a man who had pulled a 23-year-old Nathan off a construction site and put a blueprint in his hands. Gerald had died at 81, peacefully, in a chair by a window. The letter was handwritten, slightly trembling in the letters, full of the voice Nathan remembered. Asterisk, you've built well, Nathan. But I wonder if you've lived well. Here's my last instruction. Give without reason. Give to 3 people in your life. Give them something real. Not as a reward. Not as a performance. Just give. And watch what they do with it. It will tell you everything about who deserves to be near you. Asterisk. Nathan set the letter down. He looked out at the garden where a lone figure moved quietly between the rose beds in the fading light. Rose. She had tended this garden since before Margaret died. She came 3 mornings a week, spoke when spoken to, and left the estate more beautiful than she found it. He thought of Kara next. His girlfriend of nearly 2 years, fashionable and warm in company, cool and restless when the cameras weren't on her. Then Diana, his head of marketing, brilliant and relentless, the kind of person who turned every relationship into a rung on a ladder. 3 women. 3 envelopes. $25,000 each. He reached for his pen. He gave Kara her envelope over dinner at the rooftop restaurant she loved. She opened it the way she opened everything, quickly, with practiced delight. Babe, this is insane, she laughed. Asterisk, no strings. Asterisk, no strings, he told her. She kissed his cheek, tucked the envelope into her Chanel bag, and was already typing on her phone before dessert arrived. He watched her face. Whatever she was feeling, it was not gratitude. It was calculation. Moving pieces into place. He delivered Diana's envelope the following morning at the office. She held it with both hands, studied his face before opening it. Her eyes were the eyes of someone adding up a score. Asterisk, this is generous, Nathan. Very generous, asterisk, she said. The word generous sat heavy in the air, like a stone dropped into still water. She smiled then, the practiced, professional smile he had seen her use on investors. He smiled back and said nothing. Rose was kneeling beside the lavender bed when he brought her envelope. She looked up, surprised, soil on her garden gloves. She stood slowly, took the envelope with 2 careful hands, and looked at him like he had handed her something fragile. Mr. Graves, I haven't done anything extra to deserve. You've kept her garden alive for 7 years, he said simply. Asterisk, that's more than enough. Asterisk. She opened the envelope, read the amount, and pressed her lips together tightly. Not with greed, with the expression of someone trying very hard not to cry. He didn't follow them. He didn't need to. The week was a quiet study in character. Kara moved fast. Within 24 hours, she had booked a suite at the Grand Marin Hotel and arranged a brand retreat for of her influencer friends, a content photographer, a spa package, and a dinner that cost more than most people made in a month. By day 2, she had rebranded her social media using Nathan's property portfolio as a backdrop for her photos, images she hadn't asked permission to take. The caption read, *power couple energy. Building an empire together, *, he hadn't been asked. He hadn't been told. The money was gone in 72 hours, and she had turned his name into content without once considering that it was his name. Diana was subtler and therefore more troubling. She used her envelope to commission a private branding package, a personal website that listed her title as *executive. Co-founder, Graves Development Group, *, she attended 2 investor mixers and introduced herself as his strategic partner. She met with a rival developer over wine and spoke at length about Graves Development's upcoming projects, deals still in negotiation, figures still confidential. He learned all of this not from surveillance, but from the rival developer himself, who called Nathan's personal line to discuss * what Diana had proposed, * she hadn't stolen. She had simply decided that proximity to power gave her the right to trade in it. And then there was Rose. He only learned what she had done because the pastor of the community church 2 miles from the estate called to thank him. Nathan didn't understand at first. The pastor explained that a woman named Rose had donated materials to repair the community greenhouse that had sat broken for 2 winters. That she had paid the outstanding medical bill of a 7-year-old boy in the neighborhood whose family had run out of options. That on her way home she had stopped at the corner where old Mr. Ferris sat every afternoon and given him a warm coat and a grocery bag she had packed herself. Nathan sat very still on the phone for a long moment after the call ended. She asked us not to tell anyone, the pastor added. *, but I thought you should know what kind of person you have in your life. *. He thought of the envelope. $25,000. Rose had spent less than $400 of it, and she had spent every cent of that on other people. He ended things with Kara not with anger, but with exhaustion. He told her calmly that he couldn't be with someone who treated his name as a brand asset without permission. She told him he was cold and controlling. She left with her bags, her content calendar, and the look of someone already drafting the caption. With Diana, it was harder. She had given 5 years of sharp, loyal work before. Ambition outpaced her integrity. He didn't fire her. He reassigned her, quietly, with a generous settlement and a letter of recommendation that was honest about her gifts. Without excusing her choices. She left without looking at him. He understood that too. He found Rose at the estate the following Thursday, as always. She was pruning the climbing jasmine along the back wall, the same patient rhythm she had kept for years. He walked out to her slowly. She heard his footsteps and turned. * Mr. Graves. * Nathan, he said. * Please. * She looked uncertain but nodded. He asked if he could sit. She gestured to the stone bench near the rose beds, Margaret's bench. He sat. She kept working. For a while. Neither of them spoke, and somehow the silence was the most natural thing he had felt in years. Eventually, he told her what he had heard from the pastor. She stopped pruning. "I wasn't trying to impress you," she said quietly. * The money didn't feel like mine to keep. I have everything I need. *. He looked at her. *. Where did you learn that? *. She thought for a moment. *. My mother used to say that abundance is wasted on the hands that grip too tight. *. Nathan was quiet for a long time. The jasmine moved softly in the wind. The roses held their color in the late afternoon light. "My wife loved this garden," he said finally. It was the first time in 4 years he had said that sentence out loud to another person. Rose looked at him gently. Asterisk, I know. She told me. She said it was the one place she felt like herself. Asterisk. He swallowed. Asterisk, you knew her well. Asterisk. Asterisk, well enough to keep it alive for her. Asterisk. And there it was. Not romance yet. Not even a beginning. Just two people sitting in the same grief, in the same garden, finally honest in the same light. It was the first real conversation Nathan Graves had allowed himself in 7 years. And it was the truest thing the money had ever bought. That is the end of our story today. I hope it found you where you needed it. Sometimes the person closest to your life has been the most overlooked one all along. Sometimes character is quietest precisely because it is real. If this story moved you, please leave a like and subscribe to True Life Stories. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that the most valuable people rarely announce themselves. We will see you in the next story. Take good care of each other.